90% of meetings fail before they even begin. Okay, I don't have hard data on that exact figure, but let's be honest, it sure feels that way, doesn't it? Whether it's unclear objectives, the wrong people in the room, or simply that they are badly run, many meetings you go to are bad, unproductive, and a complete waste of time. But here's the truth. Meetings aren't inherently bad. When done right, they're one of the most powerful tools for communication, decision-making, and collaboration. So the solution isn't to eliminate meetings, it's making sure they are run effectively. In this video, I'll break down just how to do that. After facilitating hundreds of meetings across different organizations, I know what truly works. I'll share with you my proven framework for making them productive, so you'll have a clear system you can use to make every meeting count. Let's jump right in. Despite all our digital tools and email and chat, verbal face-to-face communication delivers in ways that other formats can't replace, whether that's in person or virtual. Information is shared and received faster, tone, gestures, and body language improve understanding, and is the most practical method of holding an active discussion. So how can you make sure your meetings are productive? Let's go through some basic rules you should follow. I've refined these over years of running meetings in diverse settings, combined with the best ideas from management thinking that I've tested and adapted into a reliable system. Now, these aren't just theoretical concepts, they're battle-tested approaches that deliver results. A significant influence on my approach has been The Effective Executive, which is a brilliant book on decision-making by Peter Drucker that I highly recommend you pick up if you haven't already. Now, be aware these rules illustrate an idea you aren't always in a position to dictate your meeting structure. And when you are, it's quite rare that you're able to run them exactly the way you want them. Nevertheless, it's what you should be aiming for. Great meetings don't just happen, they're made. It's just like cooking your favorite dish. The real work starts long before anything hits the table. You choose the right ingredients, you prep them properly, and set the stage for a smooth cooking process. In the same way, a productive meeting starts long before anyone joins the call or steps into the room. You don't just hope for the best, you plan, prepare, and set yourself up for success. So first, you need to determine the meeting's purpose, create an agenda, and decide where and when it's going to take place. And then communicate all of these clearly to all participants in advance. That's very important. Speaking of participants, only essential people should attend. Now, how do you decide who's essential and who's not? Here's the trick. Don't ask yourself whether a person needs to be there, or you'll end up answering yes most of the time anyway. Instead, ask yourself, which costs more, that person's presence or their absence? If by that person not being there, the meeting will be invalid or wasted or will cost you an impractical amount of follow-up work afterwards, then that person should attend. Also, prepare well for the meeting. Do your homework. The hard work you put in beforehand sets the stage, but how you handle the meeting determines whether that preparation pays off. The key thing is to run the meeting in an appropriate format, depending on its purpose, and we'll get to that in just a bit. You should appoint someone to take notes. Don't do it yourself. The format of these notes should be practical and relevant to the nature of the meeting. For example, important meetings, say between executives of different bodies, should be more formally minuted and structured. But internal meetings between colleagues can have casual, short notes as long as they're clear. End the meeting as soon as its purpose has been fulfilled. Don't raise other matters for discussion. And always sum up before adjourning. Summarize any decisions that were taken or conclusions that were drawn, and most importantly, any tasks assigned during the meeting should be restated, including who's responsible for them and by what deadline. What happens after the meeting is just as important as the meeting itself. Without proper follow-up, decisions can be forgotten, action items can slip through the cracks, and all that effort goes to waste. So first thing, email a copy of the minutes to all attendees. Now, this doesn't have to be fancy. It can be as simple as taking a photo of handwritten notes with your phone and sending that. Now, pro tip number 1. Make the person who took the notes also responsible for distributing them. Pro tip number 2. If it turns out that the notes were not taken properly, give the note taker some feedback. Depending on the situation, you might want to appoint someone else to do them next time. Earlier, I hinted that not all meetings are the same and that they should be structured differently depending on their intended purpose. Let's go through the main ones. If the meeting is meant to prepare a formal statement or finalize a document or something like that, then someone should prepare a draft of this in advance. Usually it's best to distribute it in advance of the meeting. After the meeting, that same person should also be responsible for finalizing the document and redistributing the final version. When calling a meeting just to make an announcement, such as an all hands or town hall meeting, it should be limited to that announcement and a discussion about it if necessary. Similarly, when one person is reporting something, the meeting should be limited to that report and a discussion about it. However, when several persons are reporting, discussions on the reports should not be held, and you should only entertain questions that are looking for clarification. If the reports are long or there are a lot of them, these should be distributed to attendees well in advance, and a stricter time limit should be imposed on each report. If you're meeting just to bring someone up to speed on something or other, that person or persons should just listen and only ask questions if they need further clarification. No discussions. Now, all of this may seem like a lot to handle, but it's just a lengthy description. The actual process is really quite simple. Start by applying these rules bit by bit, and over time they'll become second nature. So, to wrap up, meetings aren't the problem, bad meetings are. We've covered why they matter, the key principles for making them effective, and how to structure them based on their purpose. Also, not every meeting will be perfect, and that's okay. At worst, you'll learn something and gain experience. You'll still be way ahead of the game. Which of these rules will you start using right away? Leave me a comment to let me know. I read all of them and I look forward to reading yours. If you want more actionable advice for balancing personal growth with business success, then click on the playlist link in the description below and consider subscribing to this channel. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time.